You motherfucking tool. It's your boy, Rollo Jenkins. Man, I want to talk about these fakers. These fake motherfuckers. It's like, I mean, we deal with a lot of fake shit in life. So, I come into work last night, and I'm getting ready to relieve this dude. And on TV, I don't know if he was watching it or he was watching something else before, prior, and that shit just happened to be on. But when I walked in the door, it was a show with Christina Milian. I don't know the name of it. It's one of those reality shows. And she's on there talking about booty pops. I'm like, what? And she's literally on TV picking out her fake ass for a dress she's wearing to some event. And I'm just like, what the fuck? This woman is as pretty as any woman there is probably in the world. Maybe you don't have a whopper like that. Every girl ain't gonna have no Delicious or Khloe Kardashian ass, Beyonce or a K-Toy or a Buffy the Body. It's not gonna happen for everybody. Every dude ain't 6'4". Every dude don't have a 6 or 8 pack. Every girl don't have long. I get it. But to put some, like, it's bad enough, like the chicks with the ass shots, but you just straight like got like booty dress filler to have a fake ass for photos. So when a dude looking and lusting, not realizing that when that dress come off, so does the ass. How fake is that shit? I mean, I know that there are plenty of women who have breast implants. But I mean, at least the guy that she's intimate with still gets to play with him, fake or not. These were literally like silicone patches that you just stick inside of some panties with pockets. I couldn't believe it. And women do a lot of fake shit. Fake nails, fake hair, fake eyelashes, makeup, push-up bras, implants. I get it. It's the nature of a woman to be that type of vain. I get it. But for a man, that's not really acceptable. It's not acceptable at all in my eyes. But to some, to each his own, I'm sure. But when we talking about what used to be the most manly endeavor that men had, which is hand-to-hand combat, fake shit was not allowed. And we got a lot of faking ass fighters walking around in boxing nowadays. And I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand how is it that Miguel Cotto is faking around at 160 pounds. Why is it that he's faking around at 160? For what reason? We know damn well, and this is the sad part about it. If you're gonna fight at 160, you know it's not a lot of popular 160 pound fighters. But we know there is one very popular 160 pound fighter. But we have yet to hear Miguel Cotto mention fighting this very popular 160-pound fighter. But somehow, some way, the most popular 154-pound fighter somehow was a hard decision to make for Miguel Cotto to fight that guy. I don't get it. I don't understand that. You got guys like Juan Manuel Marquez. Yeah, he beat Pacquiao. Cool. Bravo. But he been fighting that dude since they was both 126. He ain't beat, listen, Brandon Rios, Ruslan Provodnikov, annihilated Mike Alvarado. Annihilated the motherfucker. Marquez went 12 rounds with him. You know why? Marquez is a much better boxer than Mike Alvarado would ever dream to be. But when you faking, that's the type of fighter you fight when you faking in a division. Marquez ain't finna go fight no fucking Kell Brook, Keith Thurman. He's not finna fight none of those dudes. He ain't finna fight Sean Porter. Hell no. What? No way in hell. Can you imagine Marquez trying to fight Shane Mosley? Or Oscar De La Hoya at 147 when they were actually fighting at the same time? No, it would have never happened. Marquez and Shane Mosley the same fucking age. So you can't tell me that somehow, mysteriously, magically, at 35 or 34 years old, Marquez just decided he was going to grow like a motherfucker. He's faking. He ain't finna fight Kell Brook. He's faking. Faking like a motherfucker. Faking. In the division, he's faking. Who's another faking ass fighter, man? Oh shit, one of the biggest fakers of them all. Danny Garcia. How in the fuck do you have 2 non-title fights back to back? Now check this out, yo. Check this out. You the 140-pound title holder. And you have 2 consecutive fights over the weight limit of 140 pounds. And neither guy that you fight is a fighter who campaigns over 140 pounds. How ridiculous is that? How ridiculous is it that a guy at 140 pounds could fight a 140-pound fighter in a non-title fight, and a couple of fights later fight a 140-pound champion in a non-title fight? How the fuck does that happen? So you got 2 faking ass motherfuckers fighting each other in a fake ass fight. 2 guys who hold titles at 140 pounds fighting above the 140 pound limit in a non-title fight. 2 faking, this is a whole fucking farce. A fake ass fight. Just fight at 147. And a catch weight at that. Peter Quillin. Peter Quillin. Can somebody please tell me, explain to me, for the love of everything that I know on earth, the WBO title is not in your plans, according to the words of Peter Quack Quillen. And before he has any fight afterward, he's fighting for the same fucking title that he gave up. In what world have we ever seen this shit? I'm almost willing to bet that has never happened in the history of boxing. A guy vacates a belt, not because he's moving up in the division, not because he's fighting another champion, or he had a fight schedule where he was getting stripped. He vacated the title voluntarily and fights for that same title in his very next fight. How fucking, man, that shit is like some motherfucking triple D's on an infant. You can't get no faker than that. That's some fake ass. That's fake as hell. How much faker can you be? How? How? Hold on. I got another one. How can a dude fight for almost 15 years? Almost 15 years. And in those 15 years, have 3 singular fights at a particular weight division. 1, 2, 3. 3 fights in a particular weight division in his whole career, and he's been fighting over 15 years. And be considered the lineal champion in that particular weight division. How could that be so? How? That's some fake ass shit. If Andre Ward went up to super light heavyweight, right? Andre Ward moves up to light heavyweight, right? And Triple G goes up to super middleweight and he fights Daniel Gill. And then he fights George Groves. Will we call him the lineal super middleweight champion when Andre Ward vacates? Or, matter of fact, some don't even consider Andre Ward the super middleweight champ just for the fact that he's been off. So let's just say the super middleweight championship is vacant. Could Triple G beat George Groves and James DeGale and be considered the lineal super middleweight champion of the world? Is that possible? If you say yes, it is, and that would be the case, then I got you. Then I can see how you can believe that some motherfucker who only got 3 fights in his whole career in a particular weight class could be the lineal champion in a division that had a vacancy. But if you don't campaign at that weight, there's no way in the world you and another fighter can be fighting for supremacy at that weight class. Impossible. That's some fake ass shit. We're living in a day where there's a group of fighters who don't fight another group of fighters. So in a whole bunch of weight divisions, we almost can't call none of these motherfuckers the real champion. How in the fuck can Adonis Stevenson call himself the lightweight champion with one belt and no significant fight after, when you got a motherfucker in your division collecting belts that you ain't fought, that you supposed to been fought, and he fighting other guys that you supposed to be fighting before you do? That's some fake ass shit. That's like a broad having my hair today and her shit down her back a month from now. Some fake ass boxing shit. We got to get rid of the fake shit in boxing. I know us as fans, the YTBC, there's nothing we could literally do about it. But we got to rank this shit accordingly. Now, I'm a fan of the Boxing Voice, and I listen to the Boxing Voice, and there's this dude on there that comes on all the time, the Fight Doctor or whatever, and he's always screaming about lineal champions. But see, this is the thing about lineal championship that people fail to acknowledge. There are two, remember this, not one, but two criterias for a lineal champion. The one criteria, which makes sense, is the man who beat the man. If I come knock on your door and beat your ass and you the man, then I'm the fucking man. Right? Obviously. But the second criteria for being lineal champion, which is just as important and possibly even more important, which comes into play from the inception, this is the egg before the chicken, is the guy who is recognized universally as the best fighter in the class. Now, some may say, well, how can you be recognized as the best fighter in the weight class if you're not even a champion? Well, we already know with all of the bullshit in boxing that has been mentioned by various sites, websites, YouTube boxing community members, speaking on all of the bullshit in boxing. The man who beat the man shit has way less value than the motherfucker who is recognized as the best in the division. How in the fuck can we sit here and talk about Miguel Cotto being the middleweight champion when Triple G exists, when he's alive? If Triple G if he don't fucking die, how in the fuck could we even possibly think about considering Miguel Cotto as the middleweight champion? How? He got one fucking fight at fucking middleweight. One fight. Kudos that it was the champion. I get it. Sergio Martinez was the last man to beat the man. I get it. But let's not fake the funk here. Sergio Martinez didn't stop at Kelly Pavlik. Kelly Pavlik stopped at Jermaine Taylor. And Jermaine Taylor stopped at Bernard Hopkins pretty much. Or I'm sorry, at Kelly Pavlik. So I get the lineage, but everybody who won the title prior to Miguel Cotto were middleweights defending their title against middleweights. They had fights prior at middleweight to winning the championship, and they had fights after at middleweight. Come on now, we gotta be for real about this shit. So, if Andre Ward hasn't fought in over a year, and his last fight was against a dude that nobody gives a fuck about, how can we consider him the best at 168 pounds? Because he hasn't been beaten? Well, my question to everybody who says that is, who the fuck has he beaten lately? Now check this out. Just some food for thought to take with you on this shit. Technically, the Seattle Seahawks were the reigning NFL champions up until the clock read 0-0-0 in Super Bowl 49. They were technically the champions for one whole year. Within that year, from Super Bowl to Super Bowl, they played 4 preseason games, 16 regular season games, and 3 playoff games. In that same span of time, Andre Ward fought the same amount of times at super middleweight and defended his title at super middleweight the same amount of times that I did. The same amount of times that Zone 6 did. D Styles, Blood Boxing. He defended his title the same amount of times that houses were built on the moon. He defended his title the same amount of times that the sun was visited by astronauts, where they actually landed within the sphere of the sun. He had the same amount of fights as spaceships landed on Pluto. He had the same amount of fucking fights as basketball games played by Wilt Chamberlain in that same time span. In that same time span, Pac and Biggie dropped the same amount of albums. Like, how in the fuck can we consider a dude, fuck the fact that he ain't fighting top level guys. He ain't fighting guys in a division lower than him. He ain't fighting guys ranked 100 in his division, or the division below his, or the division above his. He ain't fighting welterweights. He ain't fighting featherweights. He ain't fighting heavyweights. He ain't fighting Harold Letterman or Jim Lampley. He ain't fighting nobody. So, if the Seattle Seahawks, like some previous NFL champions, had not made the playoffs, will we be going into the playoffs talking about the Seahawks were still the defending champions? Will we be going into Super Bowl week talking about the defending champions, the Seattle Seahawks? No. Their reign ends when their season does. When it's evident that a new champ is going to be crowned. it's over. At some point in time, boxing has to have a standard. It has to have a standard. I get it. If you want to take a break or you want to retire or whatever the fuck you want to do, that's cool. But when you take your break, you don't get to hold your spot. Your shit don't just get held down. You don't get to come ask your wife to come hold your motherfucking championship for you. There ain't no line. Nah, dog. It's somebody else who in that spot. That's some fake ass shit. Let's get rid of the fake shit in boxing. It's your boy Rollo Jenkins. Shout out to Jay Cotto. Come back to boxing. Boy Rollo Jenkins.
Yeah, now gon' drop it to the flow, girl. Cause you too fine to be chillin' here with your girl. All alone, taking pictures on your phone, so later on you can just go and load it to your Twitter. That girl is kinda hard to miss, so let me run into it like I